evolution of absolutely everything. Whoa.
And we've only got like 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Okay, let's start with birds. How many
Birds
birds could there possibly...
That's a lot of birds. That's a lot of birds.
This one first, why not? The Seychelles
There's
warbler
no shot they're gonna go through every bird. What?
Wait, hold on. Cooperative behavior? Some birds altruistically cooperate? But that
What's
would
that
imply...
mean?
Life on Earth probably began with some soup at least 3.5 billion years ago.
What?
Not this soup, spicy hydrothermal soup. Made
Spicy
with nitrogen,
hydrothermal
phosphorus, and love. It's really good. You could taste it. You probably shouldn't taste it. But someone is tasting it. We'll call them Jeremy. Oh, can't see them? That's because they're really small and kind of basic. So much so we can probably leave for a bit without missing any. Whoa, slow down. Now
Slow down there,
everywhere,
bucko.
trying different configurations thanks to a weird spiral cheat code, and some of them are wondering if the sun is tasty, and some of them are wondering if they can link together, and oh wow, this is gonna get out of hand quick.
Oh god.
Ooh, is it fish time now? Not even close, bucko. First it's time for the boring billion.
I'm excited
Scientists
for
never
fish
call anything
time.
boring, so we can probably skip this one. Next is the Cambrian... Sorry, hold on. Okay, cooperative altruism has been documented to hungry siblings, Seychelles warblers, co-parent.
Seychelles warblers? What are these words?
Seems like a lot of animals show behavior one could classify as kindness. But if it's emerged convergently in so many species, does that mean kindness is only a survival strata? Next is the Cambrian period. The Jeremys have been busy, linking together into remarkable multicellular— oh god, what is that? An increase in oxygen has led to an explosion of new body plans, and in their excitement, everyone's gotten a little weird with it. Predators are now in vogue.
This shit looking like Spore!
That's like being fast,
You get it
wiggly,
early.
or a slow
Fast
and
and
unpalatable
wiggly.
mouthful of shell. Hey, this is a great idea, say their cousins, the horseshoe crabs. Let's just do this forever and not change. And they mean it, because looking ahead 400
Yeah, there's so
million
many
years,
things that just haven't changed. It's crazy. Like, how does evolution not change you?
Whales will only need half an epoch to turn from weird rat things into living submarines. Horseshoe crabs will have...
Whales went from little rats to that? That's crazy. Everything evolves into a crab? I heard that before. Yeah, apparently the crab is the perfect embodiment of evolution.
still barely shifted a centimeter, making every time the two hang out rather awkward. Hey, so do you want to evolve sometime later, or...
He's behind me.
Not really. But the wildest thing about the Cambrian is... Okay, wait a minute. If kindness is just a survival strategy,
That's
a
crazy.
product of natural selection, doesn't that suggest we only perform good deeds because we benefit, like by passing on our genes or having a favor returned? Well,
yeah,
maybe. The idea that the principles underlying Darwinian evolution can be widely applied to things like ethics.
I feel like as we evolve, we're in such a society now where evolution is no longer needed. We are surviving. So we're starting to, like, the stuff we do, I feel like it's more for our emotions and the stuff inside, not just evolution, survival. I feel like there's deeper things there that aren't just dictated by how we're built, but what we want to feel and what we want to do. Our free will is so much crazier now because we don't have to worry about survival.
Ethics and culture as well is called universal Darwinism.
We're always
isn't
evolving?
named after Charles Darwin.
Don't humans look the same as they... I guess we've gotten taller, haven't we? We've gotten taller. Evolution is getting meta. Soon we will have gene editing, which constantly upends Darwin's theory. Stuff like that is so ick to me. Like the thought of... Here's a question on ethics. If they made something to make you immortal, live forever, or let's say add on thousands of years on your life, would you do it? I do not think I would. I feel like taking away death as a worry from us takes away from us being able to enjoy life. We are mortal. We can die. So we have to enjoy the time we have now. And I feel like that gets into weird religious holes and stuff where it's just not good. It's subtle, but we're actually seeing some parts of the human body evolving. Really? What? Like what? Says the 1,911-year-old vampire. I am the proof of no evolution.
But his cousin, Leonard Darwin, that was a lie. I just broke our trust, and it didn't feel good because thousands of years of cultural evolution has made lying into a socially unacceptable taboo. See, societies evolve just like organisms, adapting alongside things like technology, clothing, language, dance, and humor in response to selective pressures.
Some children don't have wisdom
because
teeth.
This next part is where things really... Alright, enough about the Cambrian already, I hear you say. I'm tired of Anomalocaris. Are there fish yet? Well, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, yeah, there are
I'm
fish,
so excited for the fish!
Okay, listen. Flash forward a solid 100 million years. Now fishier fish are hanging out in the
Well,
shallows.
you guys know my full name is actually Drilla, quote, the fish, end quote, Kuma? It's true, my middle name is, quote, the fish, end quote.
Turns out to be a gateway drug for walking on land.
Oh.
Not like that. More like this. And now you've got the first terrestrial vertebrates. Oh, right on. So it's dinosaur time now.
Dinosaur!
No, hold your proto-mammalian...
Wait, fish came before dinosaurs? That makes me sound stupid. I didn't know, though. There was a theory if we can genetically modify before we restrict it, there will be generations of superhumans, basically. That's crazy. Super tall, strong, and superior.
Oh. These things take time. Natural selection isn't just some video game where, welcome back to my gaming channel.
Welcome
Today
back,
we're looking at
gamers.
the new
We're gonna be
Evolution.
gaming, Spore.
It's been in development for 3.5 billion.
3.5 billion
Okay, fine.
years.
So if there aren't dinosaurs yet, what sorts of animals do we have? Well, since we're now entering the Permian, we've reached the age of synapsids, a group that includes the iconic Dimetrodons.
I like that guy. No. Ah, bones!
The Permian, we've reached the age
Let's
of
get back to it. I
synapsids,
like him too. The one with the big teeth. He's like a tiger.
a group that includes
I like that guy. Look at him. He's cool. I feel like you could just like... Actually, you couldn't ride him. He has that big spiky thing. I feel like he'd be chill as fuck though. He's this little guy. I don't like him showing his bones though. Don't show his bones.
who were perfect.
Love
And there's
is.
also a few weird hairy things scurrying
Ew,
around, but
where's
they
the
probably
ears?
won't amount to much. Wait, hold on. There are currently 8.2 billion humans on this planet.
That's a lot of
Yet
humans.
according to universal Darwinism, there might be 100 times as many memes, influencing our social evolution
What?
and even our sense of ethics. A meme, in this case, is a unit of cultural information capable of self-replicating, as proposed in the book The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins. The term encompasses any idea transferable between humans, from
Are they
Beethoven's Ninth to
explaining the like psychology and evolutionary standpoints of a meme?
Mac and Cheeto, and therefore all of
A Mac and
societal
Cheeto?
progress can
That sounds like
theoretically
garbage.
be broken down into its memes. For example,
Memetics?
there used to be mullets. Now, there is no mullets.
I have a mullet, guys. Bro, my barber fucked me up. They gave me the Minecraft cut. I'm too scared to go back. Now I have to do my hair like this.
You probably aren't wearing a toga while watching this. I mean, you might be, I guess, I don't know your life. But did you journal on your clay tablet this morning using your reed stylus about the consistency of copper your merchant gave you? If the answer is no, then congratulations, you don't live in ancient Babylonia. Because like biological genes, meme variation allowed culture to evolve. But this theory gets stranger. Dawkins argues groups of memes working together
Groups
are
of
what
memes?
facilitate more complex
Are we
human ideas.
actually talking about memes right now? I feel like I missed something. Are they using it as like a stand-in word?
Like languages or traditions.
Oh, I think they're using
which
a
he claims are
maybe?
functionally mind viruses spreading contagiously from person to person.
Mind
But if you're
viruses
thinking, "Hold on,
spreading."
isn't this getting a
That's
bit
what I
too
am.
out
I hope
there?"
I'm a
Well,
mind
just
virus to
getting
you guys that
started, because
spreads.
you can't talk about the evolution of absolutely everything without talking about why don't you want to change?
Why
don't
don't you
know.
want to change?
I
Because
already
crabs
like
are
myself.
perfect.
Sure.
That's
but
not crabs.
Is there something about me you don't like? Of course not. That's not what I... But just because I never went through a phase where I was a furry rat horse doesn't mean that... I know. I'm sorry. I just... You wouldn't understand.
Memes were a term in philosophy for basically the mind virus. It predates the internet. That's crazy. What?
One Permian mass extinction later, and it's the early Triassic. Most species seem to have gotten the memo that it's time to stop being so goofy. Most species... Most species seem to have gotten the memo that it's time
Most
to stop being
species?
so goofy.
Most species? Oh my god, look at them! Oh, look at them! Holy shit! Why so long? Why do you look like that?
species, and for the next few 100 million years, dinos are gonna
That's how
lock
ducks
in
were
and
made.
fill just about every niche. Being tall, being small, eating
tall,
leaves,
being small.
having ball.
I like him too.
Well,
He had
these
balls.
things are worth the wait. I don't see anything ever messing this up, so I'm gonna go buy milk. Can you look after the dinos while I'm gone?
Why the
Okay,
long
thanks.
face, buddy?
Well, this is a problem. Who's gonna rule the planet now? These anxious rodent things? I don't even want to imagine what kind of society they would... The average human home contains at least one parasite. Parasitus, or the pencil,
Hi, Tops, what's up? Humans evolved from rats? Holy shit. I'm a little rat.
is a species that uses its capacity to create markings to lure in unsuspecting hosts,
What?
encouraging them to facilitate its continued survival and reproduction. This is a theoretically valid way to define
Pencils?
pencils under Dawkins' self-replicating meme theory, but it obviously sounds weird, right? Perhaps unsurprisingly, the evolution of memes as Dawkins describes it is a somewhat controversial idea, even called a meaningless metaphor that assigns undue agency to the inanimate. And I agree that saying all cultural change can be mapped to such units is a bit of a stretch. However, and this is a very big however, I don't agree that meme theory is completely meaningless, especially if thought of as metaphor.
I think
'cause
nothing
everything
is
in our modern lives
meaningless
is in the
or
flux
thinking.
of constant viral change. Pencils aren't parasites, they're just pencils, but how easy it is to personify them or any other human creation as alive speaks to the extent to which our culture is relentlessly evolving. Even this channel has transformed radically, and though I'm happy with its path, I can't help but wonder how time might eventually alter. Welcome back, Gamer Nation, to episode 800,002 of my Evolution Let's Play. If it feels like the years are slipping through your fingers like loose sand, remember at the end of this video there's a t-shirt giveaway.
A
As the sun
t-shirt
sets on the
giveaway.
dinosaurs' reign, it's now the Cenozoic, and though life was in a bit of a pickle there for a second, the mammals are kicking it off with some pretty cool newcomers. We've got these fellows,
I
these
like
fellows.
all these
Oh,
fellers.
mammoths are here too now.
Oh, the
Good. We've got
mammoths.
some giant sloths for good measure. Okay, yeah, this is working out.
Didn't
And
those
now
guys
half of them are
die?
extinct. What happened? Well,
Yeah.
some apes with no pointy claws realize they can make pointy sticks instead, and stick those sticks in other animals, and
What?
cook those animals to unlock the extra nutrition bonus, which means their brains can get fancier and they can cooperate better,
What?
and now they've taken a mass extinction-sized bite out of the food chain. But
Evil.
that's okay, because they're also doing art and culture and memes, although they're not very good yet, and even meeting other hominids who are possibly just as intelligent. Don't worry, humans definitely aren't gonna cook and eat them too. Mostly. I feel really good
What does
about
that
this being
say?
the species that spread everywhere. I wonder if their insatiable hunger and general restlessness will lead to any... The only
Why can't we
acceptable
eat other
growth is
people?
infinite growth. That's arguably the prevailing ethos of the 20th
Why
and
can't we eat
21st
other
century,
people?
the most viral Dawkinsian meme of our era, if you will. This drive for exponential profit margins has led to all sorts of lovely phenomena, like enshittification.
What?
A charming word for the widespread degradation of products that began as a term for the decline of online platforms, but could now apply to nearly all aspects of our daily lives.
What?
A rather cartoonish example of this sort of
Shrinkflation.
de-evolution is shrinkflation, wherein companies shave off more and more of their product to try and squeeze
Evil.
just a bit more out of consumers and keep those numbers going
This
up
video is
forever.
5 head
This
and it's going
short-sighted
very
idea of
fast.
Progress isn't new. The decline of silver coins minted in the Roman Empire follows a strikingly similar pattern, but taking that as an example, the practice obviously isn't sustainable long term. And not to get up on my soapbox, but these small cruelties are
Soapbox.
particularly maddening when thought about in the context of the totality of Earth's history. Billions of years of crawling out of the muck, surviving mass extinction after mass extinction, all for some jerk-offs to not let you have a full-size bag of chips. Is this
you, I want a
truly the
full-size bag
finale
of chips.
biological and social evolution, the culmination of the long arc
We're
of
becoming
life?
evil.
You'd hope there'd be
I
just
hate
the teeniest
corporates.
bit
I hate
more room for
monopolies.
compassion, or at the very least, I'd like to understand.
I like that we
No,
keep
I
going back
didn't
to
mean to
him.
be rude before. I
Here, I'll
can
move
tell
so
you're
you can
going
see
through
him.
something. I guess I'm just afraid. Afraid of what? Of how much the world has changed.
It's
Of how much
scary.
I've changed with it. I've gone through so many iterations, it's like I barely recognize myself. But you've stayed so steady, eon after
This
eon.
is the background they use for like music videos.
I wish I
You know
had
when they do like the lyric videos, they always pick these backgrounds.
that kind of confidence. Sometimes I wonder if I'm still me anymore.
The whales have depression.
Crazy. Wow, thanks a lot. Ugh, all right, we've still got to wrap up the Anthropocene and beyond, so we don't have time for fancy editing. There we go. Let's see, the Ice Age finally backs off, and anatomically modern humans start spawn camping in various river valleys. They do some farming and
This
build
editing
some
is kind of
houses and
banger, I
do
won't
some
lie, I
war
like
crimes.
this.
They have some collabs with other animals like horses, which they sometimes use for plowing fields, but mainly for war crimes. Every now and then, they
I
make
love
some
war
murals or
crimes.
fun bowls, but mostly they make murals of them doing war crimes. And that's basically history in a nutshell. There were some neat ideas, like doing really tall pillars or really big heads, or really
Like,
big
why?
heads on top of really tall pillars.
Okay,
but
they were
most had-
cooking with that one. Okay, the tall pillars, big heads, putting the big heads on the pillars, holy mind blowing, crazy.
ideas should have been left in the
Evolutionary, even.
drafts. I do appreciate how food like the dumpling is a cultural universal, and
Dumpling?
food like
I don't think I've ever had a
Cassie
dumpling.
isn't. That one is squarely on Sardinia, but none of these is enough to tip the scales in humanity's favor. So the final score for humans is spread consistently throughout the long arc of cultural evolution across societies and time periods are depictions of dogs made not for any practical reason, but out of genuine affection.
'Cause we
Ancient Romans
love
often carved
them.
poems on their dogs' graves, with one reading, "I am in tears while carrying you to your resting place, as much as I rejoiced when bringing you home 15 years ago." And that's odd, because if altruism is merely a tactic to ensure our survival, what advantage is there for mourning a completely unrelated species?
Exactly.
Sure, dogs have helped us out in various ways, but humanity has been making reverential
They don't help us no more. We help those little shits, God.
art of wild animals since our earliest drawings, showcasing appreciation and empathy for species that could have easily killed us. And is that only a survival strategy? We also have a tendency to care for the sick and elderly, and have done so for a really, really long time.
And they're not
And is
evolution.
that only a survival strategy? In a language probably lost forever, some ancient human somewhere must have been the first to say, "I love you," to someone else. And is
I
that
love
only a survival? Well, perhaps they were motivated by chemical signals to pass on their genes. Alright, sure, but I'm not entirely certain that matters.
It's just passing on genes. When both people go, we need to pass on our genes. Sex now. There's a lot more intricacies to it than just pass on genes. Babies, 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 make babies, make babies.
Because regardless of how or why we gain the capacity to care, we almost certainly can. So really, is it significant that altruism might on some level be a survival tactic that other animals exhibit? In the midst of all this swirling chaos, we can be reasonably sure that our species is a manifestation of life capable of compassion towards what surrounds us. So shouldn't we at least try to... After the Anthropocene
The
comes...
thing is, people, philanthropy, is that the word? Where you do good things. People who do good things, you know, when you do something good, you're not just doing it because, oh, people will think good of me, hopefully. It makes you feel good in your heart. It makes you feel fulfilled. It makes you feel happy. There's no gain out of it other than the happiness it brings to help others and seeing that someone's in a better place or you did something to help. Yeah. So I think we care, and it's not all evolution. Frick that.
of course, the Automocene epoch, where depleted resources caused global civilization to break down. Nuclear winter from the techno-skirmishes of the 2020 60s and 70s at last blot out the sun, causing crops to fail, Mammoth Cave National Park, and accidentally uncover the great deep world below. Then comes the Malimcene, wherein the dwellers of old reclaim the scarred surface, and humanity
Scary.
becomes naught but their puppets for several million generations. Then the Cthulhu-cene happens, which is
What?
pretty self-explanatory, honestly. But once the final grand necromancer of the outer gods is at last overthrown, with the help of the cephalopod people and their understanding of
What is this
community
guy saying
engagement,
right now? I'm
civilization
so
can at
lost.
last be reborn. The Symbiocene ushers in a new
I'm
era of
lost.
positivity, with culture at last
I like
rallying
that little
around a
squid
doctrine
guy.
of harmony and fairness
He's
for
behind
all,
me, you
reaching
can't
the
see him.
heights humanity always had the potential to achieve, but maybe that's what's most frustrating.
He's making
the
up
fact that
stuff?
humans
Ah.
do have the potential for altruism and compassion, perhaps more so than anything else in the history of Earth, or even anything else in the history of the cosmos, and yet we also have a unique power to consciously not act on it. Hey now, don't disembowel those innocent civilians is not a reasonable thing to ask a tiger, and yet it is a more than reasonable thing to ask a person.
That's
a
so
lion
true.
might eat your
Unless you're me. Oh, that's a hard one. Don't disembowel them. I'm trying. God knows I'm trying.
kidneys, but they wouldn't deny your kidneys life-saving treatment. Lions would never. Human unkindness in all its forms is unique because most of us,
That's choice.
very literally, know better. And as we speculate on the future of absolutely everything, I'd say some of us are pretty keen on keeping things from going to crap, and some of us are pretty keen on squeezing one more penny out of people just before Armageddon. One thing I've perhaps glossed over is that evolution is
gonna
not
kill
a
us all.
mechanism of linear improvement.
For the money they want to make, and the
evolve
money
is
won't
to
even matter
change
because there's
more
gonna be
than
no one to buy
progress,
their
and
product.
nature's experiments
and-
fail all the time. So the question
I don't
is,
know.
how is our
They'll be
chapter
dead.
of life story going to end? Will we be able to look back and say these billions of years of struggle have been worth it, or will it all fade into meaningless?
The amazing new Toilet Time golf game.
Now you can have the same exact haircut time after time.
Welcome back to episode 8.2 billion. If my lighting
It's
looks
like
weird,
we're
that's because the
regressing.
sun has decayed into
Or
a red dwarf
regressing.
and will soon be extinguished like an ephemeral candle in the infinite dark, so be sure to smash that like button. The Seychelles warbler is a greenish-brown bird that stands between 13 and 14 centimeters.
What?
It has a pale
Bird
supercilium
time,
in
guys,
front of
bird
its eye
time.
and primarily inhabits shrubland. But I think my favorite thing about the Seychelles warbler has to be its call. It's this melodious little whistling sound, and what I love most about it is how it's a reminder that my
Time for
ears,
birds.
which are
Fuck
completely
yeah.
different
Fuck
from a
yeah.
bird's, can
I
hear
knew
their
this.
calls and think, wow, that's beautiful. I wonder sometimes if other animals can appreciate bird songs. It's not entirely
Probably.
far-fetched. After all, there's evidence bears enjoy nature views, as they've been observed returning to particularly scenic vistas much like humans might. Just sitting and watching creation for no apparent reason other than it looks pleasant.
It looks
and who
pretty.
knows, maybe other overlooked species are capable of finding beauty too. It's almost impossible to prove, but I'd like to think so because, look, what I meant to say was, it's crazy you're afraid you're not still you. What? Of course you're still you. So what if you've evolved? So what if you've changed? There's always change. Uncertainty is the single constant of the universe. And look, I'm not sure where any of this is going. In 400 million more years,
They're
maybe I
playing
will
Canon
finally have
Indeed.
to
That's
switch
my
things up. Or
favorite
maybe I'll be
song.
extinct. I don't know.
That's like-
But what I do know is that as
Even
long
like
as I have
piano
the
music,
privilege
like the
of
old
being,
music.
I'm going to enjoy every
shit was
moment of
hard.
it. And you should too.
Makes me feel like a
Because
little
no matter
baby in a
what
cradle.
happens, you'll always be yourself. And yourself is someone who means the world to me. And always has. So there.
Aww.
I thank you for saying so. I love you.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you too. That was my Curious Archive. That was... I don't know what to take from that, but I think I learned something. But it was a good video. It was silly. I liked it. Especially when the editing got all silly. And I liked the whale. That was a good video. Nice! Blah! If you like this video, you should come hang out with me on Twitch and watch it live every day but Monday. Up there, see that? Click that. Click that. That'll bring you there. Click it. I'll see you there. Thank you. Mwah. And if you didn't click it, I'll get you next time. Mwah.